going to do something a little bit different today. We're at a city park with a whole lot of history. Today we're going to check out Naio Park in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Alright, so I know this is a little bit different. I'm usually out in a state park or a state forest or somewhere like that. But I decided to come back to a place that I've known my entire life. So it doesn't look like it now. This is just a gigantic green space, which is very nice. Nice walking trails. And considering it's right in Scranton, it's a beautiful spot to have. But right behind me is where the old amusement park used to be. You can tell it wasn't real big, but there was a small roller coaster that went right along this side here. There's an arcade that had bumper cars and games and things like that. So over behind my shoulder here is where there used to be the old scrambler, and I remember having an incident on that when I was a child, where I slid out of it. There was the seat, and then the scramblers, like you got the 3 or 4 cars that all spin, and then they all spin around on arms. I almost slid out of one of those ones. So luckily enough, I was there with my sister, and she grabbed me, and I kept my feet up before they got chopped off. So thanks, Karen.
What is now known as the Lincoln Swim Complex was originally Lake Lincoln. It was a man-made lake back in 1909, and it was dedicated to former President Abraham Lincoln. And then they erected this monument. There was a bust of Abraham Lincoln on this, and it disappeared. So we took it. Throughout the park and throughout a lot of Scranton, there's remnants of Scranton's old coal miner history. Here we've got some coal cars. There's old abandoned mines. These are closed up, you can't get into them anymore, but you'll find these in some spots throughout. I think this is the only one in the park. There's a couple throughout the city though. And then sitting right on the edge of the park is the Everhart Museum. And unfortunately it wasn't open today when I was here, but it's a nice little museum site. It's only like $7 or something to get in. I haven't been here in a couple of years, but it's always kind of cool to go in there and check it out. One big attractions back in the day was the dance pavilions that they had out here. One of the new additions now is the hiking trails, like the Davis Trail here, and it's nice to see that they've got this memorial for the area's veterans.
I wanted to have all kinds of interesting facts about Neoga. I figured a city park with the history of this place, there would just be information everywhere. And sadly, that's not the case. The history of this park has pretty much disappeared. I do know that from doing my ancestry research in the area, I found a map in 1890 that did not show the park here. It was just open area. I know that in about 1903, the park was being mentioned, and it was in publications and things like that. So late 1800s, early 1900s, turn of the century, pretty much. So 117 years ago, thereabouts. Unbelievably loud here. Which is sad, because where we're heading into right now, we're along the Davis Trail, and well, let me finish what I was saying. So back in the turn of the century, Frederick Law Olmsted designed this park, or helped design it. And he was actually instrumental in a lot of city parks in this country at the time, including Central Park in New York. With history like that, with a beginning like that, you would assume that this place would just be, there'd be all kinds of information about it, but it's very hard to find. Where we're heading to right now, we're going to go down the Davis Trail here, right along the Lackawanna County, or the Lackawanna Railroad. these tracks right behind me lead you to the Steamtown National Historic Site. Where we're heading to is Naio Gorge, which is also a part of the National Park Service. It's protected as a national natural landmark, which is kind of cool. So I don't think a lot of people in Scranton realize that they've got not only Steamtown, which is a very cool place, but they've actually got a national area right in their backyard. The road noise is horrible though. Absolutely horrible. The highway's right there. The highway's right there. I mean, it's kind of strange to me that they didn't put up a sound barrier. You guys have these near you? I've been seeing these everywhere. People put these, they paint these rocks and they put them up, and some say like joy or love, or I forget what they call them. I've seen them all over the place. All right, let's go check out Naio Gorge. So we're coming up to the, this is called the David Wensel Treehouse. Pretty cool. I don't know if it's open anymore. You used to be able to get right up to it, like go right down it, but last time I saw it was closed for structural reasons, which is concerning. Probably because they built it right on this tree. I mean, it's a tree house, but that can't be good for those trees. That tree on this one used to go straight up through, and it just, you can see it's dead now. So I cannot tell. That looks pretty boarded up. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it looks pretty boarded up. Here's another one of those rocks. So a couple years ago, I was hiking back here, and I came across some irony, and I think I just found the spot. Yeah, this is it. This is it. So it's hard to read right now, but I'll put up the picture that I took of it. Ironic to declare your love of life by defacing a tree. So we're about ready to leave the gorge. We're gonna go across the bridge, back up to the spot I remember the most as a kid, and that is the old Naio Park Zoo. I'm really torn about zoos now. I like the idea of being able to go see animals, but I don't like the idea of them being caged up. I'm more of a wildlife sanctuary kind of person. If there's animals that have been injured or just can't survive on their own and are being cared for, I'm okay with that. But zoos now, they kind of weird me out. But as a kid, this was always a cool place to go because you don't know, you see animals. It was open until the mid 90s when they closed it down. It opened up again briefly in the 90s with the popularity of The Office, I think. Or Friends, one of those shows. They kind of mentioned it and it kind of became popular again, but it got ranked as like one of the 4 worst zoos for animal abuse, and it closed pretty quickly. Now it sat dormant for a long time with nothing in there, and now I think it's still up there. They do a it's rented out to an organization called Street Cats that does low-cost spay and neutering for animals. So I guess a little good came out of that building. So let's go check it out. And I'm going to also post some pictures that I found of the old Naio Park Zoo. They're old, from like the 70s, early 80s. One from 79. I'll put the dates on them. One's from 79, the rest are from the 80s. Well, I'll put dates on them if I have them. But yeah, let's go see what the old zoo looks like. So this is the old zoo. This is where the elephant used to live. Right, see what I'm saying? If you're an elephant, would you want to live in that? Oh. Okay. That's different for a zoo. Really not a whole lot here to see of the old zoo. I mean, this was it. Down below, down there, where we just walked up from, there used to be like bison, deer, and elk, and some other kinds of animals down there. I think there was camels or something down there too. Yeah, this used to be yeah, you can't see anything in there anymore. There'd be monkeys in here. Sad it's gone, but glad it's gone. It was not kind to animals at all. So that's going to do it for Naio Park. It lives a different life now than it used to. Back in the early days, it was a hub of activity. There was the swimming, well, the lake that became a swimming pool. There was the dance pavilion. There was the zoo. There was the amusement park. And now it's a much quieter place, a green space, walking trails, hiking trails, the gorge. It's just taken on a different life now, and that's good. I'm glad to see it still being used. I mean, that's in 40 years, it's gone from the amusement park and the zoo to what we see now. So in 117 years, imagine what it started out as. So thanks for coming along on this little journey around Naio Park here in Scranton. And like it, subscribe, leave a comment. What is your favorite local park? What's neat about, what's unique? This is 117 years old, and it's got a lake or a swimming pool named after Abraham Lincoln, so that's different, right? Yeah, tell me a little bit about your favorite local park that you can just get away to real quick. All right, so I'm right by the Jeep. I'm gonna go get some lunch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. The park was designed, I just had the name, hold on. I don't know how much I'll use. I might just do a voiceover. This is dirty. Okay, Scrambler, if you remember that. People always look at you funny when you're recording. So over